everybody, Brian Rehoff at Custom Classics here at our main facility in Island Lake, Illinois. We're out in the parking lot on a chilly spring day, and I'm going to introduce to you a project that we just finished, a 1972 Chevy Cheyenne C10. This is the Super with the extra trim on it. One unique thing about this project that I like, we didn't do any paint and body work on this truck. The way you see it is the way it came in. We were just contracted to pull out all the drivetrain, suspension, everything, and start over from scratch. So when we got ready to do this thing and we went to pre-order parts long in advance, guess what we couldn't get? We couldn't get the LT4, which is what the customer wanted. They were about 8 or 9 months out and kind of iffy with GM on whether or not that 8 or 9 months was real. We went hunting. We found a really nice, neat, organized salvage yard down in Louisiana. We were able to get that engine and trans within about 3 days. It was to us pretty quick. So that saved an awful lot of time. So let's cover the rest of the build from there. Once we got our engine and trans, we ordered all new QA1 suspension. So we got the truck up on the lift, pulled the old engine and trans out, dropped all the suspension out of it. We painted the frame and then started bolting parts in. At the front end, the engine and trans went in. We didn't have to do any modifications to the firewall, obviously. Everything went in nicely. The QA1 suspension went flawless. And to cool this thing, we used Griffin's aluminum radiator with dual electric cooling fans. And then as far as stopping power on this, we went with Wellwood. It's got 4-wheel disc brakes all the way around, 14-inch drilled and slotted rotors. So that'll give it some good stopping power. As far as getting the thing to take off and move, we use Curry's 9-inch rear end in this with the 370 gear set, a little quieter on those gears, and that'll give us some good cruising speeds as well as takeoff as well. So all that came together really nice. Wheels, we used Continental tires and American Racing salt flats, which everybody loves. We've got a little bit lower stance. We did a couple little extras. We got a cool little aluminum badge that we found online that kind of flashes what this truck's really got in it. The customer had us add a couple of little pieces of trim, so we added the bed rails, we added some of the trim on the back and around the back of the cab just to fully outfit it. All right, let's take a peek under the hood here and take a look at all these goodies, and I'll kind of show you what we did under here. We painted the inner fenders. We did put a charging port on this one. Painted the hinges. We got new wheel wells for it because it's quicker and cheaper to actually just prep those and paint them. Went with a new core support, also from LMC. And then everything else was pretty close to bolt-on. Got your Wellwood over there, your new steering column in there. Your vintage air stuff sits off over here. Went with an interstate battery. And the rest is pretty self-explanatory as you snoop around in there. All the way around, really cool. Nice and impressive when you open up the under the hood. It's just clean and crisp and fun to look at, and she really moves down the road. Then as the project was moving along, he decided he'd like some interior.
I want to spend my life savings on this. I want to abandon all financial responsibility and dump it in here.
So we went shopping at LMC. We used his original door panels and we restored those, but we went with all new trim, new seat covers, carpet, sill plates, weather seals. We added Dakota Digital, which we love their analog gauge cluster, very bright at night and reads well and keeps track of what's going on with that new motor. We did a vintage air system in this thing, which we put on most of ours. Before we put everything in this truck, I'll also say that we went ahead and sound matted, we used boom mat on the floor under the new carpeting. And I believe we've got a retro sound radio in here with Bluetooth. As far as the shifter goes, we used Locar, which we use a lot on our projects. We couldn't find anything to outfit that shifter. We've got their shifter with their boot, but we needed some sort of a base. So when you look at these pictures online, that base we made out of steel in our fab shop. We didn't think cover it was going to look right. So all together on the inside, it came together really nice. And again, kudos to LMC on all their interior parts. Really finished off the project nice. This is glued shut. It's just there for aesthetics. We did move the tank to the rear. We went with a new aluminum tank, and we moved the filler in the trunk. So I think I covered everything from the vintage air to the engine, drivetrain, braking, and what makes it good on the road. Really a great project. We did end up right at the end changing the windshield. It was kind of tired looking and had those wiper marks on it, so we wanted a good crisp look. The thing really flies down the road and handles well. Just altogether a great project. Was here about 5 months or so to get this thing done. We stalled a little bit at the beginning trying to get parts, and then once we got that motor pretty quick, away we went. So that's it. Let's take it for a drive and I'll show you how she does.